One of the biggest misconceptions people have about winning in life is that it starts with the circumstances outside of them. They think only had the right job, the right partner, the right money, the right timing, then I'd win. But life doesn't work that way. The real battleground isn't out there. It's in here, in your mind. The truth is, want not work. You can't conquer anything outside of you until you first conquer what's happening inside of you. Think about it. Every choice you make, every reaction you give, every opportunity, you either seize or miss. It all flows from the state of your mind. If your mind is scattered, you'll live scattered. If your mind is filled with fear, you'll live small. But if your mind is disciplined, sharp, and steady, then even in the middle of chaos, you'll find your way to victory. I'll give you an example. An example. Have you ever seen two people go through the exact same challenge, but one comes out broken, while the other comes out stronger? The difference isn't the challenge. It's the mindset. One person lets the storm define them. The other person decides to define themselves inside the storm. And that decision that comes from the inner game. Now, mastering the inner game means learning how to take ownership of your thoughts and emotions. Because let me tell you, if you don't manage your mind, the world will. And the world is not gentle. It'll feed you fear. It'll feed you negativity. It'll feed you every reason to quit. The media does it. Your environment does it. Sometimes even the people closest to you do it. The weakest. That's why you've got to set a filter in your mind, like a gatekeeper, deciding what comes in and what gets thrown out. Philosophers for centuries have talked about this. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That was over 800 years ago, and it's still true today. Because circumstances change, people change, markets crash, economies rise and fall. But the one thing you always carry with you is your mind. If you haven't trained it, you're at the mercy of life. But if you have trained it, you're unstoppable no matter what life throws at you. So how do you master that inner game? First, you've got to develop awareness. Most people are walking through life on autopilot, reacting to whatever happens to them. Somebody cuts them off in traffic, they explode. Somebody criticizes them, they spiral into doubt. Somebody rejects them, and they carry that wound for years. That's not mastery. That's slavery to circumstances. Awareness means you catch yourself in the moment. You pause. You ask, why am I reacting this way? Is this response helping me win, or is it making me weaker? That pause is where your power lies. Second, you need to practice emotional discipline. Weakest. Discipline doesn't mean you don't feel emotions. It means emotions don't drive the car. You can feel anger, but you don't lash out. You can feel fear, but you don't freeze. You can feel doubt, but you still move forward. Emotional discipline. What keeps you steady when everyone else is losing their grip. And believe me, life will test you. People will betray you. Doors will close on you. Dreams will seem delayed. But if you can stay centered, you'll outlast the chaos. And third, got to feed your mind the right fuel. Just like your body can't run on junk food, your mind can't run on junk thoughts. What you read, what you watch, who you listen to, it all programs your subconscious. If all you consume is negativity, gossip, fear, and doubt, then don't be surprised when that's the voice inside your head. But if you feed yourself wisdom, faith, vision, strategy, and stories of resilience, then when life presses you, that's what will come out. Winners don't just train their bodies, they train their inputs. See, once you get this once you realize the inner game comes first, the outer victories start to follow naturally. You start making decisions with clarity instead of confusion. You start handling conflict with strategy instead of anger. You start moving toward opportunities that others overlook because you're not blinded by panic or self-doubt. That's how people who may not have the best resources, the best background, or the best connections, still rise to the top. Because while everyone else was trying to fix the outside, they fixed the inside. So I'll leave you with this. If you want to win in every situation, start by winning the battle within yourself. Don't let fear run your life. Don't let doubt steal your future. Don't let anger control your actions. Train your mind every single day. Feed it, discipline it, and guard it. Because when your inner game is strong, no outer situation can defeat you. Remember this: life is not happening to you. It's responding to the strength of your mind. You know, people often pray for a life without problems. They want it smooth, easy, predictable. But here's the truth. If life were that soft, you'd never grow. You'd never get stronger. You'd never sharpen your skills or stretch your limits. Obstacles are not punishments. They're training grounds. They're the gym where your character and resilience are built. Think about it. Every great story of success you've ever heard has one thing in common: struggle. Whether it's an athlete, an entrepreneur, a leader, or even someone in your own family that you look up to, behind their victory, there's always a battle. And here's the kicker: it wasn't the victory that made them strong. It was the battle. See, obstacles have a way of revealing you to yourself. You think you know who you are until life throws something heavy at you. It vient. Then you find out whether you're really disciplined, whether you really believe, whether you really have courage, or whether all of that was just talk. Struggle is like a mirror. It shows you exactly where you stand. And if you use it right, it doesn't just show you who you are. It helps you become who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be. But most people get this wrong. They see obstacles as dead ends. They say, "Why is this happening to me? Why now? Why can't my life be easier?" That's the wrong set of questions. Winners flip the script. Instead of asking, they ask, "What's this teaching me? What muscle is this challenge building in me right now?" Because once you shift the question, you shift the power. Let me give you an image. Imagine going to the gym, never adding weight to the barbell, just lifting the same light weight every single day. You might feel comfortable, but you won't get stronger. Now, imagine life does the same thing. It keeps handing you heavier and heavier weights. At first it feels unbearable, but with every rep, you grow. That's how resilience is built. That's how mental toughness is forged. And the people who understand this, they stop running from problems and start using them. Now, I'm not saying obstacles feel good. No, they hurt. They frustrate you. They make you want to quit. But inside that frustration is growth. You cannot get any other way. Diamonds are created under pressure. Steel is hardened in fire. And human beings are elevated by adversity. Every setback you face is preparing you for a bigger stage, a higher calling, a greater reward. But you've got to cooperate with the process. You've got to train yourself to see beyond the pain of the moment. For example, when doors close on you, don't just see rejection, see redirection. When resources are scarce, don't just see lack, see creativity being demanded of you. When people betray you, don't just see loss, see wisdom about who truly belongs in your circle. Life never wastes an obstacle. Every single one carries a lesson if you're willing to learn it. And let me tell you something important. The obstacle is usually the thing standing between you and your next level. Not because it's blocking you, but because it's building you. If you can't push through this level of resistance, you're not ready for the next opportunity anyway. So life, in its own tough love way, says, prove yourself here. Some of you might look back on the next door. Some of you might look back on your past and see seasons that were rough. Moments where you thought, I'll never survive this. And yet, here you are, stronger, smarter, wiser. That proves it right there. The obstacle that once looked like it would destroy you actually prepared you. And that same pattern will continue as long as you stop resisting growth and start embracing it. Here's something else. Obstacles don't just test your strength, they test your vision. Anybody can stay positive when things are going right. But can you keep believing in your future when nothing in your present looks like it? Can you keep walking when the path is foggy? That's the real test. That's where greatness is separated from mediocrity. Because here's the truth. Obstacles never really go away. You just get better at handling them. Life will always throw challenges. That's not something you control. But you do control how you respond. You can either let obstacles shrink you, or you can let them shape you. So the next time you're hit with a setback, remember this: it's not there to stop you, it's there to strengthen you. It's not a wall, it's a weight. And the more you lift it, the more powerful you become. Let me close this thought with a line you can carry with you. Don't pray for fewer obstacles. Pray for a stronger mind, because when you stop seeing problems as punishments and start seeing them as preparation, you'll realize every obstacle is just another step toward your victory. Now, we've talked about mastering your inner game, and we've talked about turning obstacles into training grounds. But there's one more piece that separates those who win once in a while from those who win for a lifetime. And that's consistency, that's focus. Because let's be honest, anybody can get motivated for a day. Anybody can push hard when the spotlight is on them. Anybody can grind for a week after hearing a powerful speech or reading an inspiring book. But the question is, what do you do when the excitement wears off? What do you do on those ordinary days when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when you don't feel like it? That's where winners are made. Not in the big moments, but in the small, daily disciplines that stack up over time. Consistency is the bridge between potential and achievement. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't stay consistent, it won't matter. You can have all the dreams, the ideas, the vision, but if you don't keep showing up, those dreams die in your imagination. The people you admire, the people who inspire you, they didn't just get lucky. They built habits. They showed up every day. They trained their mind and body over and over again until excellence became second nature. But here's where most people fall short. They want intensity, not consistency. They want to sprint today, collapse tomorrow, then wonder why they never get anywhere. See, intensity the weakest? Intensity, but consistency will get you finished. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about not quitting. It's about refusing to break the chain of effort, even if you can't give 100% every day. Give something. Because motion, even small motion, keeps you in the game. Now let's talk about focus. This world we live in, distraction is the greatest enemy of consistency. You could have the best plan, the clearest goals, but if you can't guard your focus, you'll never follow through. Every ping on your phone, every negative voice in your ear, every temptation to chase something shiny, it's all stealing from your future. Winners understand this, and they protect their focus like it's gold. Because it is. Your ability to concentrate on what matters and shut out what doesn't determines how far you go. Let me ask you this: how much of your life is being lost in distraction? How much time, energy, and attention are you giving away to things that don't move you closer to your vision? Think about it. And if you took back half of that wasted focus, where could you be 1 year from now? 10 years from now? That's the power of disciplined focus. Psychologically, this makes perfect sense. The brain thrives on repetition. Neural pathways are like trails. Walk the same path enough times, and it becomes easier, clearer, faster. That's what habits do. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're carving a stronger mental path. Over time, what used to feel difficult starts to feel natural. What used to take willpower becomes automatic. That's how consistency rewires you for success. And philosophically, there's something deeper here. Consistency is really about integrity with yourself. It's about keeping the promises you make to you. If you tell yourself you're going to wake up early, then do it. If you tell yourself you're going to work on that dream for an hour a day, then do it. Not because anyone else is watching, but because you respect yourself enough to follow through When you practice this, your confidence skyrockets. Not because everything is easy, but because you know you can trust yourself. And let me tell you, a person who trusts themselves is unstoppable. Of course, there will be days when you stumble. Days when you break the routine, lose focus, or fall short. That's part of being human. But the key is this: never miss twice. You miss one day, fine. Reset the next day. You get distracted once, fine. Refocus immediately. What destroys people isn't failure. It's the spiral of failure. Winners don't spiral. They recover fast. They get back in the saddle and keep moving forward. That's what keeps the momentum alive. And here's the beautiful thing. Once consistency becomes part of you, life gets simpler. Decisions get easier. You don't waste energy asking, should I do this today? You just do it because it's who you are. Discipline stops being punishment and starts being identity. That's when you know you've crossed over from trying to win to living as a winner. So if you want long-term victory, don't just chase motivation. Build consistency. Protect your focus. Do the small things every single day, even when nobody's watching. Because those little things add up to big results. Those invisible days lead to visible success. Let me leave you with this: success is never owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every single day. Pay it with consistency. Pay it with focus. And one day you'll look back and realize you didn't just win once, you built a life of winning.